Have you ever had that nagging feeling? That little voice in the back of your mind telling you that someone isn't being completely honest? We all encounter it. A friend's questionable alibi, a partner's strange story, or a colleague's suspicious excuse. The truth is, most of us aren't very good at detecting lies. We rely on old myths like watching for fidgeting or avoiding eye contact, which often lead us astray. But what if there was a better way? A scientifically backed approach that focuses on what really matters? In this video, we're going to dive into the human mind to reveal 5 powerful psychological tricks that can help you spot deception. Before we get started, a crucial disclaimer. These aren't foolproof spells. They are psychological indicators. A single sign means very little. The key is to look for a cluster of these behaviors, and to understand the person's baseline behavior first. We're not detectives, but by the end of this video, you'll be able to tell the difference between nervousness and genuine deception. So, let's begin with our first trick, which has nothing to do with body language. Trick 1. The verbal fingerprint. Focusing on word choice. Pay attention to a liar's language rather than their face or hands. Liars often have a different verbal fingerprint than truth-tellers. Studies show that deceivers tend to use fewer first-person pronouns like I or my. This is a subconscious way of distancing themselves from their fabricated story. A truth-teller owns their narrative. I went to the store and bought milk. A liar might say, the store was closed, so no milk was purchased. The difference is subtle but powerful. Liars also tend to use more complex, convoluted sentences, padding their story with unnecessary details in an attempt to make it more believable. For example, I was at the gym and then, I went to the store to pick up that thing we talked about, which, I had forgotten about last week, and then this overcompensating narrative is designed to distract you. It might also be noticed that liars are less likely to use contractions, as if they are thinking too hard about what to say to sound deliberate. Trick 2. The unexpected question, cognitive load. A liar's brain is working overtime. They are not just recalling a memory, they are inventing a story, checking it for inconsistencies, and trying to remember what they said before. This is what psychologists call cognitive load. This can be exploited by asking an unexpected, seemingly irrelevant question. For instance, if someone is describing their day, interrupt with, "That's fascinating. By the way, what was the weather like when you left the house this morning?" A truth-teller can easily and instantly recall this information. A liar, however, has to stop, access a different part of their brain, and create another piece of their fake reality. The pause, the hesitation, and the momentary look of being flustered is your clue. It's the brain's resources being redirected, which can cause a brief but telling short circuit in their prepared story. Trick 3. The reverse story, memory versus construction. This technique builds on cognitive load. A truthful story is stored chronologically in memory. Telling it in reverse is a challenge, but a manageable one. A fabricated story, however, is not a memory, it's a mental construction. When a liar is asked to tell their story backward, for example, start from the moment you came home and tell me everything that happened leading up to it, they are forced to deconstruct their lie in real time. This is incredibly taxing. You will likely see them pause, hesitate, and introduce inconsistencies or new details that weren't there before. A truthful person might pause to think, but their account will remain consistent. For a liar, this is where the seams of their story begin to unravel. It's the closest thing we have to a genuine psychological tell. Trick 4. Micro-expressions, the split-second leak. Micro-expressions are fleeting, involuntary facial expressions that flash across a person's face for just a fraction of a second. They are incredibly difficult to control, and they often betray a person's true emotions. For example, a liar might be feigning happiness while a tiny flash of fear or disgust briefly crosses their face. You need to be observant and calm to catch these. Look for emotional signs that don't match the emotion they are trying to portray. A slight lip curl, a brief tightening around the eyes, or a subtle movement of the eyebrows. While not a standalone indicator, if you see a micro-expression of contempt or disgust when someone is claiming innocence, it can be a powerful piece of a larger puzzle. Trick 5. The evasive answer, shifting responsibility. When asked a direct question, truth-tellers answer directly. Liars, on the other hand, will often give a non-answer. They will restate the question, add unnecessary details, or pivot to a different topic entirely. This is a tactic to evade direct responsibility. For example, if you ask, "Did you take the last slice of cake?" a liar might respond, "I can't believe you would accuse me of that." They are not answering the question. They are shifting the focus from their actions to your accusation. Remember, an evasive response doesn't prove guilt, but it does mean they are actively avoiding the question. In a pattern of evasiveness, it's a significant indicator. So, there you have it. 5 psychological tricks to sharpen your lie detecting skills. Remember, these are not standalone clues, but pieces of a larger puzzle. Look for clusters of these behaviors and, most importantly, understand a person's normal, truthful baseline first. Use this knowledge wisely. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the human mind, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Psychology Explained for more fascinating insights. And let us know in the comments below, what's a psychological topic you'd like us to explore next?